Well, there we have it. An absolute heart attack FC has returned. Nothing is ever easy. First off, let's have okay. Here's your match review of Chelsea's 2-1 loss to Aston Villa away with a red card, Azpilicueta going off. A disaster class of a central midfield and absolutely no finishing ability at all. I can see my mic clipping here. Tottenham have qualified Chelsea into the Champions League. Breathe it in. What has happened? The one time Spurs don't bottle it, it's for the good of Chelsea Football Club, and they qualify us into the Champions League. We finished fourth. Leicester bottled it at home at the King Power in front of their fans to lose 4-2 in the end, and Chelsea lose away at Aston Villa at Villa Park 2-1. In many ways, a disaster class of a performance, and I'm going to go through why. Oh my god, we started that game so well. Kante wasn't in the squad. It was the 3-4, 3 or 2-1, whichever way you want to say it. Kovacic returned to the midfield like I thought. Jorginho was there. James, Chilwell, wingbacks. Silva good to play, flanked by, James, right centre-back, wing-back. And Antonio Rudiger with Thiago Silva in defence. And you think, you know what, this is a good team. Werner and Pulisic make sense up front. And we start the game absolutely like battering Villa. Like, so many chances, a little bit unlucky sometimes, but generally we can't finish. Like, so many gilt-edged chances. And you feel nervous, and you're looking at the other two games, like, I think Liverpool go up in the first half, certainly Leicester do as well. And in my head, I'm like, right, well, that's it. You have to think they've both won those games. And therefore, the mentality remains that Chelsea have to beat Villa. This is a must-win game against they're a good side, Villa, but we've got designs to win the Champions League this season still. So it just really shows the mentality. We had a good, strong squad, good, strong starting 11, and there's just echoes of recent frailties in this team over recent years. And look, man. So Bertrand Traore, ex-Chelsea player, of course the curse of the ex-Chelsea player, has to score. A ball comes back to him, he's free as a bird, I believe after a set piece, literally free as a bird, meters and meters of space all around him. No one picks him up, he just lofts it into the top of the goal. It was either a good finish or a little bit lucky, but Mendy couldn't do anything, and he actually injures himself trying to save the goal. And you just think, oh god, here we go, and you just feel so deflated because we have so many chances, we were battering them, there was good combinational play, but it's the same old story of just not being able to finish your dinner, mate. Do you know what I mean? So half time, and you see the other scores, you see our score, and you feel your hope starting to fade. And then you see Mendy's injured himself and Kepa's coming on. And no disrespect to Kepa, but he's not the first team goalkeeper at the moment. And you think this is just Chelsea personified right now. Do you know what I mean? Not much time passes. The midfield had been terrible. I don't like digging out players. I think they're all good, talented midfielders in our squad. But Kovacic, since he came back from an injury, since he came off the bench in the final, I believe, the last game and today, he just gets robbed in midfield. He used to be this, press-resistant, dribbling midfielder, and he's just getting the ball nabbed off him in critical moments. He nearly gave away 2 goals against Leicester in that must-win, which essentially got us Champions League in the end. And he did it again today, and he was poor. And of course, Jorginho, he's getting booked, and he gave away a needless penalty that El Ghazi just, tucks away, and he scored every single penalty this season. So, no fault of Kepa. You're just not going to save that. 2-0 down. We go to a back 4. We put Reece James in midfield, which is interesting. He's obviously played there before in the Championship. So Azpilicueta goes right back. Reece James goes midfield. We play a front 4 of Kai Havertz. Ziyech comes on as well. And we go, hell for leather. Change the formation, go all out attack. Generally does it right. We score a goal from Ben Chilwell, probably one of our best performers these last few games, alongside N'Golo Kante, because he's a goal threat. He just looks like he's going to score. He's a good left back defensively, and there he is. He's up on my wall right there. So Ben Chilwell, excellent again. We need to play him up front in the Champions League final. That's how freaking dire things are at the moment. And we get a goal back, but then we had 30 minutes, as far as I was concerned at that point, to score 2 or 3 goals. Well, a couple goals at that point, and you just have no faith. You have no faith because we're away from home. Villa happily will play a low block against us. They've got 8,000 Aston Villa fans behind them. And I said in my preview, that would be a massive advantage. That would be a massive advantage if Leicester didn't bottle it at home. That was the weird result. That was the weirdest result because they had their fans behind them. They've just won the FA Cup. And Tottenham were awful last time out. So you thought, like, I said in my preview, this is going to be a massive advantage for Aston Villa. Jack Grealish is going to want to impress in front of Southgate in the stands. That actually probably worked against him. He was probably trying a little bit too hard and was like conceding fouls and stuff. But the game fizzled out. We lost our heads a little bit, not in terms of fighting, but in terms of concentration. And Azpilicueta, he gets fouled, Azpilicueta, by Grealish. And it's a foul. And the ref probably should have blown up immediately. But Azpilicueta flings his hand out. It hits Grealish's face, and he gets a straight red. And fair enough. Do you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't blocking himself. He was literally trying to push Grealish away. But if you do that and you're not looking at where your hand is and it goes into their face, you've deliberately pushed your hand towards them in the face. And you might think it's soft. I kind of think it's soft, but whatever. It's a red card. You know, Azpilicueta is the professional captain that you do not expect that from. And ultimately, we just Ziyech looked alright when he came on. I didn't want him to start. I'm worried about him recently in this team system. But when we change system, maybe he's better as a right winger, a conventional in a 4-2-3-1. Part of me now is hoping that we really do change formation, not for the Champions League final, because the 3-4-3 tends to work quite well against Manchester City of late. We've beaten them twice recently, granted not full strength teams, but still it seems to work against Man City. But for this next season, against your Aston Villas, your Brightons, we need to have someone else up the sleeve, mate. I'm really impressed with Tuchel. I'm glad he's the coach. I like the cut of his jib and all of that, but at the end of the day, we need something else. We need another approach because I know a lot of you will be saying, look, Jan, it's the finishers and stuff. True, fine, but there are loads of half chances. What we need is a system that has gilt-edged chances that cut back into, an open goal, apparently, like Manchester City does on the Guardiola system. Cutbacks to open goals. That's literally what I feel like we need with these Chelsea players. Do you know what I mean? If we can't finish normal half chances, then we need literally like sitters, and we've got players that are absolutely capable of screwing up a sitter as well. So I know that. And at the end of the day, we were looking. I opened up my laptop. I was watching Chelsea on the TV, but I had to open up my laptop. I had to put the Tottenham game on, and I've never been so happy for a Tottenham win, or even a draw would have seen us over the line. But the Tottenham win in the end. They went down, I think they equalised at 1-1, and then they went down 2-1, and I thought, right, Leicester are at home, they got their fans behind them. I looked at the stats, I think they were quite, they were dominating at that point, and I was like, well, they're just going to go on and win it more. Tottenham come back 2-2, and I'm starting to count down the friggin' minutes, man, on a Tottenham game, so they can draw, and we can absolutely, I'm not going to swear, but to scam our way into the top four. And it does feel like that. It feels a little bit unworthy. I know you could say, oh, well, you're in the top four. But Chelsea are their biggest enemy, and I know every football fan says that about their club, but it's truly the case with Chelsea Football Club. Anyway, Tottenham score a third, and you think, okay, cool, and there's a couple of minutes, if they do concede, then maybe the fans will get behind them. Gareth Bale scores the fourth, and you're like, right, thank you very much, Tottenham Hotspur. And yes, the amount of memes and tweets going around Twitter saying Harry Kane has just ensured Champions League football for his next club. Very unlikely it comes to Chelsea, of course. Something that I've been discussing on Football Therapy, of course. So we've done it, boys and girls. The season on paper so far is reached 2 cup finals and finished in the top 4, much like Maurizio Sarri's season at Chelsea. But we could win this European trophy. It's a lot better than the Europa League. We could still win the Champions League. I mean, it's a one-off game. Yes, I don't really trust this team, but the fact how we have beaten loads of big teams this season, especially in Europe, why not? Why not Chelsea winning the Champions League? We'll cross that bridge in a few days. We'll talk about that more when it comes. But in the meantime, Chelsea have kind of blagged their way into the top 4, and we've qualified for the Champions League next season. And to move forwards, Thomas Tuchel is going to have to do some heavy pre-season analysis. he starts again at 0 next season, he can say, right, this 6 months and the summer has been a massive pre-season for me. Time to really build my Chelsea project, the Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea. So anyway, there's my 2 cents. I'm really interested in hearing your guys' comments down below. Drop a comment, let me know your thoughts, drop a like, subscribe to this channel if you're new. We've done it, boys. I'm going to go and have a heart attack now, so I'll see you later.